can make your own soil. Don't let no one deter you. Farmers have been doing it for generations. That's how some people are able to combine certain fruits to make fruit that are that should not have been existed, but it exists. For example, orange is nothing but something that was created by humans. No, lemons is not natural; it's man-made. Look it up. And anonymous, I do understand your concerns, but please go do your own experiments.
Yeah. All right. Tactical. Did anybody else want to jump into the conversation before Tactical and
For
Anonymous
me, it was
responded?
bananas
Just to,
for me.
yeah, but just to be fair, because I don't want it to just be a back and forth type thing, and there's like four other people that's on here. Did Yikes? I know Candy don't really, but Yikes, Plant Style, and Spilly. Did y'all want to jump in real quick at all?
Uh, yeah. I think that I got maybe a little like sidetracked as far as like kind of where your point was going, number six, because you started with one thing and kind of switched over to another thing. Not saying that's a bad thing. It's just I got a little lost.
I'll go
But
after them.
but oh my gosh. But I think that a lot of these aspects that you're talking about, like the metaphysical and then the technological, kind of just getting back to what we were talking about before, the metaphysical with the technological kind of go hand in hand. I do agree that something there are a lot of tests that are done. There are a lot of experiments that are done on Earth that we do and don't know about. Of course, you always have to, yeah, the metaphysical, the physical, and the technological, all of them together, things that in my opinion we don't always understand, but that are relevant, even if we don't have to see the processes of it. Like you don't see the gas go in your car, but you know that it goes. A lot of the times people are sidetracked, not necessarily, but they're sidetracked by the bigger picture, or like the things that they don't understand that make the world work. But as far as I'm concerned, I think that a lot of the the possibilities, and that they're in space, or like, and I'm sorry to go back to this, but the idea of like landing on another planet and having these same things that are available here on Earth, right? So like creating a sustainable food source, sustainable water source, sustainable sources of air. These things are not necessarily in a vacuum. You could potentially have these things that are available on another planet if you were to go there and do the research, and maybe you could make it happen. Do we have that information? Do we know that it's a feasible thing? Not necessarily. The people on the ground, me, normal person. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have that information. I wouldn't be able to sit here and opine on what it is that you could do to get to here and here and here. But technologically, I think that they just repress anything that's going to come out that's going to make people think differently. They want you to be scared. They want you to trust in their judgment, especially the government. And to me, that negates, and I understand why people don't necessarily trust all around the government, because if you lie about one thing, you're willing to lie about all the other things that come behind it. If you're gonna,
Everything.
if you're gonna be dishonest to the people who you're supposed to govern, and not distribute resources in an equitable way, and not be fair and actually preserve life in the way that you say that you do, when most of the time, most of the funding for the government, it comes from war, it comes from conflict. It doesn't
Right.
necessarily come from building a better future. So
Right.
when people talk about basically like, oh, this is what I believe and this is the research that's been done around it, I don't fault them for being dubious about the things that the government is putting out. You can't trust them. Okay, you can't take everything they're saying for face value, because they're good for a lie. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm not saying that I disagree with anything you're saying, King, down here in number six, because I feel like a lot of the points you made are just, to me, common sense points. Like, of course, people are doing tests. There is a physical element. You have to do math, just like biologically. You wouldn't argue with somebody like if you got a cold and you needed to take cold medicine. Like, are you really going to argue that that's not going to work, or are you going to die? You know what I'm saying? If you catch the bubonic plague, are you not going to go to the hospital? Like, absolutely, you are. Trust me. If you catch some shit, you're going to the hospital, bro. Like, you're gonna go find the quickest way that has been tested and trusted, so you don't damn die. Okay, it's just a self-preservation thing, and all people kind of go by that same logic. You're going to do what's logical. But are you really going to trust them when they come out and they say, oh, AI is the next big thing. We need somebody to come and do a test for, like we were saying earlier, for Mars, or, and people, are you going to trust all of the physics and the math that they're giving you if, you can't necessarily like quantify it yourself? Everybody's not going to be a mathematician. Everybody's not going to be a physicist. That's just not, it's not realistic. Everybody thrives in their own way, but I don't blame people for questioning things. So,
right.
Yeah. Just to add to your point, because I felt like you were going somewhere, number 6, and it just got a little wobbly. So
no, I'm glad you actually chose to jump in, because you were like that peaceful voice in between both opposing sides. So I'm glad that you did jump in before we go back to Tactical and Anonymous and then to Aladdin. And this time I am jumping in after Aladdin. So Tactical, Anonymous, and Aladdin.
No, I actually want you to go first because I know you wanted to speak. So go ahead.
Well, I was going to get back to the free energy sources as well as the transfer of energy. So that's why I was letting you guys speak, because once you guys got out that conversation, I was going to get back to the different sources on these planets that is actually free energy, right down to the microorganisms. And I was going to touch on a subject where you said that energy can't just be given like a gift. In a box. We are the boxes, and the energy flows within us the same way every other organism, whether it's a plant or something that has lungs and air, they still are gift wrapped packages that is producing energy and transferring energy. They're not just creating it and then just handing it off. They're absorbing the energy from something else, magnifying it enough to transfer it to something else. So I don't believe that energy is just poof created from anything and there it is. It has to absorb from something in order to create it, and it has to transition and be created to something differently. So that's one subject that I was going to touch upon, is when you mentioned that as far as energy. And then I was going to also, which I don't want to get into it too deep now, I was also going to speak about the microorganisms as well as the substance that Crabz was talking about as far as the sediment, as well as the glass, which is also a substance that can be used for fuel.
Can I respond to him before you continue?
Oh yeah. I'm not going in. I'm not going into detail.
Because I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off soon.
Okay, go ahead. Between you and Tactical.
No, it's not Tactical.
Okay. No. You two are going next, and then Aladdin is going after y'all. That's what I meant.
All right, well, you go on you at 6:04. All right, we got to make a decision real quick now. Whoever going next,
now Anonymous go
give us 3 minutes.
Let Anonymous go before you.
No, I'm responding to you. You went already. I'm responding to you.
Yeah, he's going last.
I'm responding to what Yikes said, that it's possibly feasible or non-feasible that we go to space and land on Mars. There is no Mars rover. They know it's not feasible. They know this. You did not lose the telemetry data. You never had it. Okay, what's his name? Let me not bring him up because I can't remember his name, but there's a man named Dr. Robert Foster, 1950s, who has been completely scrubbed off the internet. There's probably one little video on YouTube left of him being interviewed, where he was backed up by Princeton University to prove that you cannot land on the moon. You can't do shit with it. It has no effect to the tides. Yes, it affects water and affects the electromagnetification of water or its state thereof, but it is not responsible for the tides. Gravity is not real, and he has been scrubbed completely off the internet. Einstein, you brought up Einstein. Einstein's a fucking liar. He plagiarized every single paper he wrote, and I can back that up. I will destroy you on a debate with that, because Einstein was a liar. He didn't make nothing. He didn't discover nothing. He didn't invent nothing. He didn't make up E equals MC squared. He stole it. He didn't write none of that shit. Isaac Newton, also in his book of Principia, claimed if the earth was flat, then this. And if the earth was round, then this. And if gravity, and if, in the entire book, he never proved anything. They have never proven anything. And if we're going to sit here and act like Terrence Howard didn't come in and prove these motherfuckers wrong, that they have been giving us the wrong math, because yes, 1 + 1 is 2, but 1 × 1 should not be 1. I don't give a fuck what any of y'all say. It should not be 1 because the definition of multiplication is to multiply, make many of. Therefore, 1 times 1 should be 2 or something else. The math they have given us is incorrect. They did it on purpose, like they showed you in the movie A Beautiful Mind when Russell Crowe was going crazy, even though he was a schizophrenic, writing on the mirror on the windows these equations that nobody can solve because they have given us the wrong math on purpose. So to sit here and act like these people have cared for us and given us this truth and went to space in the name of humanity and did this and did that when they fucking fucked us over, gave us COVID, done this, done that, taking our rights away. Fucking, we're in a fucking prison. Like, what are we doing? On top of that, we're stuck in fucking Bigo.
All right, Anonymous. All right, 607. I think you made your point. We got.
I think you and King are made for each other. Y'all got a way of turning up at the end of y'all statements. Like y'all be mad intellectual, that and then you be like, motherfuckers. So what?
We got King next, and then we got Yikes. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty good, but I want to remind everybody.
Well, I was going to go after Anonymous, but King can go.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me make sure I got the list right, the previous list. It was King and Yikes. I thought everybody else has already spoke.
I haven't spoken.
Well, I was going to go before Anonymous, but I didn't let Anonymous go ahead.
So let me get back on. All right, let me get back on track. And now we're going to keep that shit up there. If you give up your damn turn, I'm not circling fucking back.
Tactical actually has been waiting, though. Tactical had been waiting.
So we got Tact. We got King, correct, so far?
No, he wants me to go before him.
All right, we got Tact. We got Vice. Then we have King. And
have
then
a good day,
we have
Anonymous.
Yikes. All right, Anonymous. All right, and the time is 6:08. Tactical is on you.
Now,
3 minutes from now.
Talking about this free I really do wish they would just change the terminology, change the whole free energy. If they do that, then they run the risk of having to rewrite all the science books out there, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to rewrite these science books. They just circulated a brand new social studies book, like, 3 years after I got out of high school? So there's no way they're going to go back to try to rewrite the current science book and recirculate a brand new science book. I mean, this puts a whole new spin on what the word rich really means. If they're not willing to change the science curriculum, how rich are they? Because I don't see nothing on any type of digital bank statement I've seen so far that say these people are what they say they are in terms of being a millionaire. I don't see it. But anyway, as far as the free energy go, yeah, I do believe everybody should, be able to make their own source of energy. Why do we have to have a power company? The power company is not what it really is. It never was. So why do we have a power company? That's where I'm at. Why do we even need a power company? Hell, why do we even need a nuclear atomic plant producing energy when we can literally produce this energy ourselves? We don't need a power company. We don't need a water. What the fuck is a water company? That's where I'm at on that. What the fuck is a water company? What is a water bill? Nothing but putting money in somebody else's pocket. What is an electric bill. Nothing but putting money in somebody else's pocket. It's just a check for someone else to go do whatever the hell they want to do and not have to work for it. I'm just saying, the sooner we cut this government off at the nub on paying bills that don't freaking exist, we might just get somewhere. I mean, this is just me. We might get somewhere.
All right.
Unless over 97% of this country is too scared to really realize that. So what? If the government fall flat, guess what? We should be creative enough to get up on our own feet, aren't we? To do what we supposed to do, aren't we? Or are we just talking?
All right.
Hey, Anonymous.
Absolutely.
Where am I
Well,
at on the
My
list?
last point,
Because I have to
people
go to
say
the
I talk all
bathroom.
the time.
All right.
But when I produce a physical receipt, people run from me.
Ted, I got you,
I
my
mean,
brother.
I was trying to
I got
finish.
you. It's 6:12. It's a minute over, but go ahead and make your point, and then I'm gonna pass the mic to Vice, and then to King, and then to Yikes. Good.
My last point is, Crabz.
Hold on a second. I have to run to the bathroom. So can you do like yikes and then I'll go after yikes if you don't mind?
Got you. Yes.
My last point is, Crabz. Whenever I produce a physical receipt of one of my projects, and you know I do this, why do people run from me, Crabz? Why do they read the app when I produce a physical receipt of what I'm working on? Why they do this? Why do they test people? They say they ain't doing nothing, but when we show it, they run.
Absolutely.
I don't get it.
Absolutely. All right. I got you, brother. I got you. So we're gonna go to King. I think I don't know if she said yikes, but you were next.
She said yikes. She want yikes to
I'm
go
not
first.
next. I'm not next.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So if I put yikes up there, then it'll be you, and then it'll be her. But
I'm going last.
go ahead. Excuse
I'm going
me.
last. I'm going last.
Okay, go ahead, yikes. I know you weren't next, but if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, no problem. I actually wanted to respond to what Anonymous said. Actually, I didn't say anything about necessarily that it was true about any landings or anything of that sort. You know.
No, I know.
Yeah, but I actually did look up this guy, that we are that you were referring to,
Dr. Robert Foster.
Yeah, they scrubbed him. That is factual.
Yeah,
and but interestingly, I was kind of reading along in this Reuters article, and I had another article up. Sorry, that one I don't know where it went, but it said that he believed the moon was plasma, but that we could potentially land on Mars or Venus, and that's kind of in my opinion, they've been talking about. Yeah,
real quick, just to say real quick. He said
let me go ahead and finish.
I just want to enter.
I know, but still, but I want her to go ahead and finish unless she wants to give up her time to have you go back and forth with her.
Oh, I forget.
But I want her to go ahead and finish and make her point. Yeah, I'm giving everybody time. Okay, yeah, it's 6:15. I'm gonna so I'll give you to 6:17. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to take up too much time because I already spoke. We got people coming in, so I do think that the plan, so they say and so it is alleged, is Mars. But at the same time, it's kind of like I was listening, and I wanted to just really quickly to another podcast that was talking about basically like AI and how that will push people out of their effectiveness and such, but as I listen to these people who have constantly been undermined, or their ideas have been stolen, or they've just been offed altogether and scrubbed, it's like a pattern. Like you see that the people who are, the most in on whatever's going on, or find a way to subvert the system. And I'm gonna bring this into kind of what you were saying here, Tactical, is that people who learn how to subvert the system or don't necessarily want to go along with it are usually alone. They are alone. They don't necessarily have some giant backing behind them. They don't got money behind them. They don't have a group, because people think, they think in that self-preserving mindset, kind of like I was saying before, is that if you don't have somebody to do the things for you that you don't necessarily understand how to do, it whittles people down to a situation that we're kind of in now, where we have a bunch of lone islands of really intelligent people, or people who have all these, great facts or great ways to, contribute to a society that's more equitable or fair. But they're all on their own lone island, and everybody's kind of throwing shit at each other because we don't really know how to, be cohesive without somebody stepping in or your life being in danger, essentially. I think that, I really agree with you, what you said, Tactical, here about like there's no need for water companies, there's no need for these other things to happen. But the problem is that, in my opinion, is that most people like their comfortability. They thrive in comfortability. And, just like it's almost like a pop media celebrity culture that we live in now, it's easier just to turn off your brain, and that's how it goes. It's easier for people to go ahead and just say, if they're going to handle this for me, and I'm a so-called American citizen as soon as I'm born, and I get all these so-called rights and all these things, who's it to me if I, am aiding in a genocide across the world? What's that to me? It means nothing to me, because for me, my day-to-day, what I'm facing in front of me is easier if I just go along with the get along. So that's all I had to say.
All right, that was right in 3 minutes. See, and yo, you kind of pushed a lot of
Damn
things
good answer,
that I be
Yikes.
saying all
I
in
like
one.
that
Yeah,
answer.
yeah. And it's like
Damn good
because
answer.
that
Thank
being
you.
comfortable in AI is a completely different conversation, and it's like that's basically what I be saying, and I be a victim of the same thing. But I know everybody want to speak, so I'm gonna get back to that point. But the AI and being comfortable is it's everything that I've been saying, especially like how we got to where we are when it comes to civil rights, when it comes to what other rights people are fighting for, is being comfortable is more and that go along, get along. But I'm gonna let that go and I'm gonna come back because you hit something right there. But that being said, we're gonna go to King and then we're going to Vice. The time is 6:18. Oh, you think? Well, wait a minute. Let me
No,
correct
he
myself.
always wants to go after me. Like I don't want to
He
possibly
wants you to.
respond to his
I
ass.
know it.
So no,
I know
this
it.
is his
So
fifth
I tell
time
you
going
what you
after
do
me.
there.
This time
King
you're
is
gonna
the
go before
last.
me so I can
But
respond to you, King.
hold on.
No,
King is the
no, no.
last
It's
person.
no. It's because no,
Hold on.
no.
Wait a
It's
minute.
because
Hold on. Wait a minute. Paul, time out. No, this is where I jump in at. We're not gonna argue about who goes first and who goes last. Come on now. Let's go ahead and
no. It's
do it.
because
And with that
she
being,
wants me to talk for a
let me
long
say,
time.
brother, let me say this. Let me say this. I understand that. But we're going to do what we stated that we're going to do. And that is Vice, you go ahead and go. And then King, go ahead and go. And then next time we do this, we're going to try to make sure that we understand when you step out and put somebody else in, it's going to put you in a different spot. But I don't
Right,
want to argue too
absolutely.
much about that. Okay. So, Vice, go ahead. And then King going to go. The time is 6:19. I'm going to give you between 6:22 and 6:23.
Okay. I'm glad that Anonymous did come back because I wanted to kind of speak on a few things that she was speaking on. But I wanted to start with, I believe it was Tactical Builder that made a comment. It was either Tactical Builder or Anonymous that made a comment, I think it was Tactical, that stated that nobody really wants to rewrite the textbooks in order to incorporate free energy. I don't necessarily believe that because textbooks are rewritten sometimes quarterly, semi like textbooks are constantly being rewritten and issued out to who they want that knowledge to go to and how they want it to be shipped out. There's constantly brand new textbooks being made, so it's not necessarily that they don't want to rewrite it because they rewrite textbooks all the time. They don't want to necessarily write certain things into the textbooks, and that's where we get back to the censorship and the control and the get down and lay down mentality, because this is what we do know. We do know that for quite some time they have been censoring what they put into the educational system, as well as they censor what we are allowed to speak and say. So, with that being the case, our issue really isn't with the knowledge. Our issue is with the organizations that are choosing what and how to put out the knowledge that's there. And that goes back to, in my opinion, that ego and that pride. It has nothing to do with the laziness of rewriting the textbooks. It goes back to what someone said, which I think was anonymous, is that the confrontation is what has been fueling change in this world. The confrontation amongst men is what has been fueling change. Pride and ego, selfishness, greed, lust, gluttony, all these things have created confrontation in our world, which has pushed certain changes. That's really the issue, is when you start putting in all of these weird human emotions and tendencies into science, and that breaks away from the educational aspect of it. And this is where we start getting these negative cyclical effects. That's what's basically happening. It's not that they don't have the information and they can't rewrite it. They don't want to see that common people are discovering the things that we know they should have discovered a long time ago with the knowledge that they have right at their fingertips, and that we are just now getting because it's coming down the pipeline. There's no reason for that. So for a common person like myself or anyone here on this panel to come and discover something that's monumental, and then from here we take it up, and now you have an entire world of people saying, well, why the hell didn't NASA tell us this? Well, why the hell didn't our government tell us this? It's not so much debunking the truth, it's debunking the power at hand. Because once you start giving people the truth, they start figuring out, well, why the hell do we need these power structures? And the power structures will never let go of that power, which goes back to ego and pride. We're not battling the truth, we're battling human nature. And once we get past the human nature, that's when the truth will prevail. And I think I'm done with my time, so it could pass to Aladdin. Thank you, JFF. Or Jeff.
Okay, so
All right. What up, Coach Phil? Time is 6:22. I'm gonna give you between 6:25 and 6:26. Go ahead, Aladdin.
so why is the only reason I wanted you to go first is because
Hey,
I
Sabrina.
want.
Oh,
Wait, you muted him.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mute you, my brother. Go ahead.
The only reason I wanted to go because you've been trying to speak for a long time, right? And that's why I'm going to jump on a different like a topic like you were on. See, I'm going to add to you, not go against what you said, because I absolutely agree with what you say. Different governments in different nations will change their teachings in their books based on how they see fit for their nation, right? That's why I suggest people not only just to read what the government is sharing, but also what other nations are sharing in their books and talking to other people like how we do here, and actually know factual what's going behind the scenes, right? And that's why that's when I keep saying that energy is absolutely free. The only reason we feel compelled to pay for these things which are free to us is because it's these same entities that are controlling it, right? These same entities control three things, the four things actually right now: land, sky, right, ocean, and space. Now, if anything we discovered about these things and it's out in the public, and they're like, oh fuck, you know what? This was our thing to say to the public. Also, they're gonna make threats. They feel threatened. That's why a lot of times when a lot of people that you guys mentioned over here, that's why they've died, because they died telling you the fact that, oh, listen, I live in this country. Here's what my government doesn't want to tell you. Oh, I live over here. This is what my government doesn't want to tell you. And we come together for one unified information where we can actually stand on. Um, Now, when it comes to I'm not going to talk to AI. Like again, that's a different conversation altogether. It's going to be out of topic. Um, but I'm just going to make one comment, saying that again, do not be afraid of AI. So go.
All right. That was yeah, that was very interesting. And okay, let me say this before you go, Vice, and then we got Tack. Now, we started this conversation off by talking about free energy. We talked about Nikola Tesla. We talked about Aaron Salter Jr. We talked about Stanley Myers and everything in between. It led us to the moon, about NASA, and it also using the process of electrolysis to separate hydrogen from oxygen to create vehicles that can run off water. That's how we started. We got kind of on a sidebar by talking about going to the moon and conspiracy theories, like is the Earth flat or not? You know what I'm saying? But we end up eventually coming back to free energy and other things like that. So I want to say right now, we're still on kind of free energy. And conspiracy theories. We don't have to hit the earth as being flat, but all of that is up for grabs right now. So if you want to add based on any three of those points, based on what you heard before that, please do so. With that being said, it's on you, Vice. The time is 6:26, so I'm gonna give you into 6:30. to get your shit off. Go ahead.
Well, it's back to me. Okay.
I got you, King.
All right, so let's talk about the free energy. So one thing that I wanted to touch on before when I was talking about free energy is that people are so focused on fossil fuels and all these different things. Energy can be cultivated from so many different sources because every single thing that is around us has energy, some form of energy within it. So it's not necessarily focusing on the hydrogen separating or diffusing away from the oxygen cells. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with plastic being turned into petrol. It has nothing to do with it. We need to realize that our government has always had a plan to bring it here. Our government has always had a plan to depopulate. The 1% has always had a plan to control and rule everything. Like it is what it is. That's where it gets you. The psychotic nature of having too much shit. It kind of gets you to the point where you just want to destroy everything around you. I don't know why people are fucking weird. So with that being the case, we are never going to be given the power to overrule and or to sit equally. The scientific nature behind what is actually healthy for our environment is never going to really come out to us. There is a multitude of ways to get energy, including on other planets. Like I said, the microorganisms. I'm pretty sure a microorganism on Earth is not going to have the same electrical charge or transference as something on Mars or on the moon or anywhere else. Um, while I'm mentioning outer space, I also do not believe it's safe to even think about building or planning a life on other places, considering that we can't even reach the Earth's core without knowing exactly what's going to happen to the fucking Earth for us to try and
Mm.
go to another planet and start building on their surface and not know what the hell is going to happen, considering some of the planets are just comprised out of sediment, which is what we were just talking about. These planets are nothing more than sediment that's being held together by gravity. So if ever that gravitational pull stops, what the fuck is going to happen to the sediment? It's just going to poof and go into a bunch of damn dust. And now what the fuck are going to happen to the people that are sitting on this planet? So considering that we've been on this planet for the amount of time that we've been on this planet, and there's all these different extreme intelligent races of beings that they claim have been here from Anunnakis and all this other shit that people are mentioning, and for some odd reason we still haven't been able to properly reach the center of the earth without being afraid that it's going to cave in or knowing if it's flat and or round. I think we need to chill out on going to a whole nother planet and fucking it up because humans aren't really doing the best thing right now with Earth. I think we need to just kind of chill out for a second when it comes to touching anybody else's shit. And you ain't even cutting your own grass in your own backyard. I do believe in that. So I'm going to land my plane right there. I know I have extra time, but I'm going to land the plane.
Absolutely. Well said, well landed, well received. With that being said, we should have Tack and then King. Tack, it's on you. The time is 6:29. I'm going to give you it to 6:20. Did I wait a minute? Okay, I'm sorry. Because of the way I scribble the names out, I have them out of order. Like I said, y'all know I'm not as smart as the rest of the people on this panel, so y'all got to be patient with me. I scratched
Don't
the
be out
names
here
out
fishing for
incorrectly, so
compliments.
it's King. Yeah, thank you. You caught on to me. We got King, and then we got Tag. Go ahead, King.
Yeah, you got it wrong again, Crabs. It's Tag, Anonymous, and then me.
Damn! Every time somebody speaks, you gonna put yourself to the back. Now, am I wrong, or were you after? No, hell no. Cause
No, no.
did I say something?
So when it said when Vice was speaking, Tag put his hand up, and then Anonymous put her hand up, and then I put my hand up. So I'm again.
So you've already spoke. You have not
No, no.
spoke yet, brother.
He spoke
No.
after me. I spoke, he spoke, I spoke, and then now it's Tactical, Anonymous, and then him.
Yeah, what were you gonna add to that right here? Because I must be off track here. What were you saying? Like, or are you trying to add to the conversation?
They can go ahead. I just wanted to add in something at the end whenever they're finished.
Got you. So right now we have Tack. We have who else?
Anonymous and Aladdin.
Anonymous, and then Aladdin. All
And
right, go
then
ahead,
Yikes
Tack.
is after that, right? Yikes is who you just asked if they want to speak.
I'll go last.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, Yikes.
All right.
I'm trying to help with a second list over here. So
Yeah, please do. Please do. I might need 3.
I
Yeah.
got you.
All right. All right, go ahead. So it's on Tack. Go ahead, Tack. Get your shit off, brother.
Okay. I wanted to do a short. Yeah, I don't think they're. I think yeah, the system's really hating on me for what I did the other night. Anyway, what I was going to show is uh a diaphragm of what the core middle of the earth looks like. But again, I did such an extensive live with it with the digital map. Yeah, they not liking me right now, and I really don't care. But anyway, as far as what free energy is, yeah, we all produce it. We can get to a point where me being the creator, I like to build stuff. I like to think of stuff, figure out how to take what I see in front of me, make it not necessarily uh, better, but know how to find different ways to make it run more efficiently is what I'm gonna say.